Hey everyone, welcome to Sphere. I'm Zach Furtado, a solutions architect with over 6 years of experience in building scalable and production grade web applications. Whether you're a beginner or a professional in Flutter, in this video, I'll walk you through the complete Flutter installation process on macOS. Before we begin, make sure you have the latest macOS installation, at least 4 to 8 GB of RAM, Xcode from App Store, and Git. To download Flutter, we need to go to Flutter's official website and click on Get Started. Here we need to choose macOS, iOS, scroll down and click on Flutter macOS for Apple Silicon. The download has started, but I already have a previous version of this folder. Once downloaded, extract the zip file to any location of your choice. In this case, the Flutter binary exists in the bin folder, and we need to add this to the terminal. So the next step is to go to the terminal and add Flutter to our path variable. Is because we cannot access Flutter directly from any other directory. Currently we are in the home directory, but we need to be inside this particular bin directory to execute the Flutter binary. But to access this binary from any other directory in our terminal, we need to edit the zshenv file. Here we need to type this command, that is export path equals to $path. That means that when we open a new terminal session, the existing path variables should first be exported to the new path that we are creating now. The path variable itself holds the other environment variables that are required for the macOS. You copy the path name of the Flutter binary and exclude the Flutter binary from this path. Only keep it till the bin folder. Make sure this path looks exactly like this for your Flutter installation to work. Hit Ctrl O and enter to save the file and Ctrl X to exit the file. Still, if I try to run Flutter, terminal won't find its binary because the terminal will find the Flutter binary in its next session, for which we will exit the terminal session and open a new session. Here I will write Flutter Doctor V. Now we have Flutter added to our path and the Flutter binary is accessible from anywhere in our terminal. We have no issues found, so our Flutter installation is ready. In case you want to develop Android applications as well, you need to write Flutter Doctor Android licenses and hit enter. In my case, I have already accepted these licenses, but if you have a fresh installation, you will have to accept 6 separate licenses by hitting Y and then enter. Once the installation is done, now you can create a new project in Flutter. Let me go to desktop. You need to write Flutter create. Let's create a project saying hello Flutter. Make sure all the letters are in lowercase, and in case they are separate words, they are separated by an underscore. By default, Flutter will create this application for all platforms that it supports, that is Android, iOS, web, Linux, and Windows. If we want to develop specifically only for certain platforms, we need to type platforms Android, iOS. In this case, it will only develop for Android and iOS. Make sure there is no spaces between Android and iOS. You can also add other platforms as well as per your preference. In my case, I'll be developing only for Android and iOS. Secondly, you can also add the organization parameter, wherein you can add something like com.zionsphere or whatever organization name you want to add. So the package name of the application will be com.zionsphere.hello_flutter. In case you do not add this parameter, it will default to com.example.hello.flutter. A package name is a unique identifier for every application that is deployed on Play Store and App Store, which is why even if you do not go ahead with the organization parameter for now, if you want to deploy this application to Play Store or App Store, you will have to change the organization name because they do not accept com.example. In my case, let's add org com.zionsphere and hit enter. The project is now created on my desktop. Alright, so our next step is to install the Flutter plugin in Android Studio. For that, we need to go to the plugins section, go to Marketplace and search for Flutter. And then install the first option that shows up, which is by Google. Automatically, it also installs the Dart plugin for Android Studio. And then once you restart your IDE, in your project section, you'll also be able to see the new Flutter project button. Once you see this button, it means that the Flutter plugin has been installed successfully. Now we'll open a new project from my desktop. Now I have my project open. The first thing we need to do is to change from the Android view to the project view. This is so that we can see all the files of Flutter as well, because Android only focuses on the projects that were made for native Android development. But in our case, since we are using Flutter, the two platforms that we were about to develop for are Android and iOS. So the whole Android environment exists in the Android folder and the iOS environment exists in the iOS folder. To run this application, we need to boot up any particular device. Let's say we boot up the Pixel tablet. The starting point of our Flutter project is the main.dart. Let's close this README file, which is just a description of what your application is. You can edit this to whatever description you need to add for your application. When you open main.dart, you'll see that Flutter has added a default code to demonstrate the stateful and stateless widgets. Let's see if this application runs. You select Pixel tablet from the dropdown and you hit run. And here we have a Flutter project up and running. Congratulations, you have successfully installed Flutter on your macOS. Thank you.